Binge watching is our fun trend. So here we are with the top 7 rewatchable movie franchises that started in the 70s. The world of franchise films has made a ton of profit to the production houses, like Disney, which plays on profit that comes from the Marvel franchises, from Mad Max to The Godfather. Let's explore the best franchises that were born in the 70s.
In this wasteland, I am the one who runs from both the living.
Number 1. Mad Max. After witnessing the murder of his wife and son by a ruthless bike gang, Max Rokitansky, a police officer in futuristic and dystopian Australia, takes the law into his hands and sets out for revenge as a savage warrior on the road, thus obtaining his name Mad Max. The Mad Max franchise is set in a fictional timeline as Australia suffers a resource and societal collapsing consequence of the wars. What follows is an adventure of a lifetime. And the best part is that all the films of this franchise can be watched as standalone film. Even the rebooted versions hardly have any strings attached to the previous films. But they all have one thing in common: they are all successful action dramas, filled with gruesome fight scenes, stunt montage, and heavy metal soundtrack, which makes these films high-pumped action flicks, perfect for watching with your friends on a movie night. The franchise offers 4 films. Mad Max released in 1979. Mad Max 2 released in 1981. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, released in 1985, starring Mel Gibson, and then for the most recent one, Tom Hardy replaced Mel Gibson as Max for Mad Max Fury Road, which released in 2015. The reboot was a success, and there are many talks from reputed sources for another sequel to this mad franchise.
Goodbye, my son.
Number 2. Superman. The fictional world of Superman starts on the planet of Krypton. It is the tale of a parent protecting his child, but with aliens. Jor-El, a Krypton scientist, sends his infant child to Earth right before the destruction of his planet. The child was raised as Clark Kent by 2 very understanding farmers, Jonathan and Martha Kent. Clark knew from the very beginning that he was different from most people, and with time, this belief turned into a magnificent reality. Clark Kent, as a young man, went on to work as a reporter, along with his love interest Lois Lane. But his job description is more vivid than a reporter, as he also saves people, shoots lasers out of his eyes, flies up to the space, and fights evil. Superman is a hugely popular franchise, and the character is a legendary hero, an normal man who, upon removing his glasses, becomes the world's savior. DC Comics ruled the creative literature market in the late 60s and early 70s, so there was no doubt that the era of science fiction films would inevitably produce a superhero film. And thus, Christopher Reeve became the first live-action Superman in Superman 1, which released in the year 1978, followed by Superman 2003 and 4. The story is gripping, action-packed, and throughout the many eras, Superman has gone through a tremendous transition under various directors. After Reeves pulled the curtain on his role, post-delivering 4 successful films, it was picked up in continuation by Brandon Routh in Superman Returns. Even though it was a short-lived success, performances by Brandon Routh as Superman and Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor were wildly appreciated by the audience. That was the end of the Superman era for a while until the DC Universe announced the Man of Steel series starring British actor Henry Cavill.
I've waited for him.
Number 3. Halloween. Halloween is a unique and odd franchise, divided into multiple timelines. It all started with the Halloween released in 1978, directed by John Carpenter, where a man named Michael Myers escapes a mental institution to stalk and kill a high school student by the name of Laurie. Then the paradigm shifts into a Little Messer sequels and imparts itself into 3 timelines. The first timeline stars Donald Pleasance as Myers, and Jamie Lee Curtis follows Michael Myers on many of his killing sprees. The second timeline emerges from the matrix of the first film, meaning that all the other films, namely, and ignores the prequels from Halloween 2. The rebooted sequel to Halloween, released in 2018, is the highest-grossing film of this franchise, and it brings back Michael Myers as the deadliest killer in a jumpsuit, out to hunt for his prey. The latest installment to the franchise, Halloween Kills, released in October 2021, is probably the bloodiest of them all. Make sure you watch them all because all of these are perfectly spooky holiday flicks.
You don't believe in the boogeyman? You should.
With so many serial killers films crowding the internet, Halloween is deemed the spookiest of them all. It has murder, mayhem, and vengeance of a madman out on his own, finding and hunting for his prey. The Halloween franchise serves as a mint at the end of a heavy dinner. If your dinner included tragically heavy films on serial killers, Halloween is pure mayhem unleashed, and you will find it grueling enough to rewatch several times. Number 4, Rocky. Rocky is a blindsided legendary tale of a small-time boxer trapped unappreciated amongst bad people in a small town. After years of suffering and failure, Rocky is given a once-in-a-lifetime chance to fight against a heavyweight boxing champion Apollo Creed, and winning this fight might get Rocky the respect he longs for. But more importantly, he shall find his life's purpose in the next 5 films. With the first film released in the year 1976, Rocky sets the tone of a punching sports drama with a flair of cheekiness, which makes this franchise gripping. The films are relatable to the masses, an underdog talent, fighting for a better life than being a henchman for a local goon. Rocky gives hope to youngsters that if they aren't afraid of failures and losses, if they can keep on moving forward, they just might get what they wish for. But if you are not too big on motivational drama, watch this film for its training montages. Rocky has one of the best training montages in Hollywood, and they might just be what you need to get to the gym for a hefty workout.
Maybe the show is over.
Sylvester Stallone is a man of many talents, and apart from being an actor, he has served as the writer, director, and actor for many films. The massive success of the franchise, the millions of dollars in the box office collection, and the many merchandise in the name of the film prove the Italian Stallion's genius. Joining Stallone in this franchise is Talia Shire as Adrian, Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed, Burt Young as Paulie, Sage Stallone as Rocky Jr., and Burgess Meredith as Mickey. The series also had a spin-off franchise, Creed, starring Michael B. Jordan.
Travel forward with us, 300 years into the future.
Number 5, Star Trek. Star Trek depicts the endeavors of the starship USS Enterprise, whose 5-year mission is to investigate space and, as expressed in the title arrangement, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. The series takes place in the 23rd century after advanced aliens called the Vulcans acquainted with Earth, permitting humanity to set out on intergalactic travel at speeds quicker than light. Under the guidance of Captain James Kirk, played by William Shatner, the Enterprise takes Spartan a philanthropic exploration mission plan to record the most distant spans of the world. The team experiences different alien lives, and not every one of them is as civilized as the Vulcans, most strikingly the Klingons, who are combative enemies who often run into the Enterprise. Kirk's vital friend is Mr. Spock, played by Leonard Nimoy, who is a half-human, half-Vulcan whose activities are managed by logic rather than emotions.
Not enough against their shields.
The Star Trek series began in 1976 and remained an interconnected space opera franchise that holds onto its feet for about more than 20 films. The franchise has transcended its status as a science fiction film, with careful planning and an its script, making people believe in the marvel of science. Therefore, anything is possible in Star Trek, even time travel. The original show aired in 1966, was very ahead of its time and touched some nerves with basking controversial topics. Thus, there was an initial decline in viewership, but soon the Star Trek was picked up to become one of the most successful film franchises in the world. Since then, the Star Trek franchise has traveled the galaxies, making and breaking records of collections for movies and merchandise, and has a plethora of fan followings still quoting Spock. Star Trek is a fun flick, exploring new worlds, languages, and cultures. Watching one film feels like traveling one dimension. Number 6, The Godfather.
Don't ever take sides with anyone.
Based on Mario Puzo's novel of the same name, the story revolves around familial relationships, friendships, love, and betrayal in the lives of the Corleone family, headed by Don Vito Corleone. An aging Don works with all his family members in New York, except for his youngest son Michael, who detests and wants nothing to do with the family business. He wants a normal life, away from the crime and drama of the Corleone family. Don Corleone finally has a tough with the many enemies he has made and the members who betray him. Seeing his family's life in danger, the prodigal son Michael Corleone returns from his normal life with his beautiful wife to assume command of the family mafia. Hereon starts the journey of the Corleone family to win New York and eventually America. Godfather 2 is both a prequel and sequel to the first film, following a young Vito Corleone and the now mafia chief Michael Corleone as they find their ways around the crime world. To complete that trilogy, The Godfather 3 shows an aging Michael Corleone. At the age he saw his father, Michael now understands the burden of the Corleone crime family, its many enemies, and partners who don't want the most truthless family in America to go straight. Apart from this, Michael has to deal with his nephew Vincent, who wants to be a part of the Corleone family and has set his eyes on Michael's daughter Mary. As Don Corleone, Marlon Brando is deemed the perfect casting choice. He has the wise face of a strict Don who wishes to protect his family of the heinous nature of his business while he attempts to stay at the top of his competition. The Godfather is a trilogy franchise that has aged like wine. Even if you don't enjoy mafia films, you can watch them because it caters to many audiences, and each finds their perception of the story.
When I found you,
Number 7. Star Wars. It has been more than 40 years since Star Wars first came out in the year 1977, and it still is a big deal all around the globe, exploring different galaxies, planets, alien life, etc. It all started a long time ago, in a faraway world, when a boy named Luke Skywalker, who lived on a deserted planet of Tatooine, joined a rebel organization to protect a princess named Princess Leia from the Dark Lord, Darth Vader. They accidentally open a cryptic message that asks them to find a powerful Jedi named Obi-Wan Kenobi and bring him to planet Alderaan. During their journey, they employ men to join in the force against Darth Vader, namely Han Solo and his furry friend Chewbacca. Upon reaching Alderaan, Luke, Obi-Wan, and Han find the planet to be destroyed by Darth Vader using the powers of Death Star. They infiltrate Death Star, where Han Solo and the spirit of Obi-Wan remind Luke that the Force is with him as he takes charge to destroy Darth Vader's ship. With more than 20 films and epic audio dramas, the Star Wars series has a substantial fan base ranging from kids, young adults, and the core fans who have been with the series since the 70s. Apart from huge set designs and marvelous soundtracks, the Star Wars franchise was graced by many talented actors who played important roles both on and off screen to make this franchise worthy of binge watching despite the long runtime. Mark Hamill played Luke Skywalker, Harrison Ford played the role of Han Solo, Carrie Fisher graced the screen with her portrayal of Princess Leia, Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Frank Oz played the role of Yoda. The films offer the audience the opportunity to view the world through different eyes and perspectives, and for almost 40 years, the Star Wars franchise has maintained a fine grip on fans. So what movie franchise will you be starting first? Do let us know in the comments. That was all in this video. And if you wish to discover more of these, please like and subscribe. It may be a tiny click from you, but we will be forever grateful.